I was a little bit worried about if I was able to handle this volume because my price point is pretty low to get to my numbers because of the country I'm in.
Past 3 months, you've been averaging about a 12x return on ad spend on your ads. We were looking at the data a second ago. Last month, I think you're at like a 9.5x. Juan has such high standards that he marks it red if it's less than a 10x return on ad spend. So I got a good laugh when I was going through his numbers with him. Juan, thanks so much for joining me here. Let's get started by you telling everybody what your business is, who you serve, and what you do for them.
Yeah, so thanks for the invite. I'm a learning coach. I help medical doctors pass an exam for them to get into residency training in Colombia and Peru currently.
Awesome. And for those of us that aren't maybe familiar with like the medical exams, et cetera, why would somebody come and pay you money versus trying to study on their own? Is it like a tutor situation? You're going to help them get a higher chance of succeeding? I know you had told me right when we were talking a moment ago that you're actually endorsed by, I think, some like the largest either hospitals or boards in Colombia as well. So why would somebody come work with you versus them doing it on their own?
Yeah, basically, the key reason why is because information is everywhere. Everyone can get medical knowledge wherever they are, but they don't know how to use it. They don't know how to retain that information. So I help them with memory retention and helping them improve their exam scores with that.
Very cool. And is one of the main benefits of working with you that if they get their residency, that'll get them to a better high-paying job, which will help them make more money, and so there's kind of an ROI element of it there too?
Yeah, basically is they graduate from med school, then they'll work as a general practitioners, then they'll have to present an exam to get into training again. And once training is done, they'll make a lot more money, like 25 grand more in Colombia, which is where I'm
Wow.
located. Yeah.
25,000 USD?
Yeah,
Wow,
per
that's
per
pretty
year.
impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've lived in Colombia before, and that goes a long way in Colombia. I'll tell you that, 25,000 USD. So, awesome. And you and I just finished an awesome one-on-one call, and there's a few things I already have in my head. But when you first came to us, scaling with systems and working with us, what were some of your biggest struggles? Why even reach out in the first place? Just for context, the past 3 months, you've been averaging about a 12x return on ad spend on your ads. We were looking at the data a second ago. Last month, I think you're at like a 9.5x. I wish I could show your guys his sheet here, but Juan has such high standards that he marks it red if it's less than a 10x return on ad spend. So I got a good laugh when I was going through his numbers with him. But why don't you kind of walk through a little bit about before you came to us, where were you at and what were some of the struggles you're experiencing and why you decided to work with us in the first place?
Yeah, I think I have always been kind of a systems guy. I know you are the systems guy. So I kind of felt identified with that, but also I kind of didn't know how to apply that thing to my business. I studied economics and law in college. So I kind of was familiar with tracking and data and stuff, but didn't know how to manage that or put that into my business. And I loved the way you had everything systemized for your business and for the way you like started teaching everything. I actually started consuming your show up secrets thing first.
Yeah, I remember also looking when we were just looking at your data, we were talking about, hey, like at this point in like one, let's just spend more money. We have a 9x ROAS, as we got to hire some setters and some salespeople. And you're like, yeah, in February I had spent way more money than I did now, but I just didn't track anything. You ended up saying, I don't know what I was doing back then, right? So was one of the issues previously that you didn't have the sheets or the confidence in order to be able to scale your business? Because it sounds like you weren't afraid to spend money in order to grow your business, but you didn't know what to spend it on. And then when you did kind of throw it out there, it might not have returned as well as it should have. Is that right?
Yeah, I was basically making decisions blindly.
And now you have this beautiful little Google sheet that we were just on a second ago, and you're seeing we're able to see this is our cost per call, this is our cost per offer made, this is your return on ad spend. I even gave you to add in there a cash per close, how much money you're making on an average client. And also another cool thing, great thing for everyone that's watching this as well. Juan has an awesome bottleneck, which is that he's not spending enough every day on ads. And I was like, you need to have a column in there for your average ad spend a day so that you can make sure you're hitting these numbers. Because at a 9x ROAS, if you spend, 30 grand, you'd be making $270,000 USD in cash. So the tracking sheet, I think, was really critical. For other people that are watching this right now, what's one or two other things that were, if you don't mind getting a little specific, that you really implemented with us that helped you kind of take your business to the next level?
I think that the fact that I knew that I needed to document everything, to systemize everything. I showed you on our call, like the whole system I have since people text us, and then like this way of thinking and understanding that at the end, every system just gives you data, and then when it gives you data, you can improve it, is really key. And actually, something else that really have helped us is some people are trying to copy us, and then you started speaking about in the course modules around branding yourself, like separating yourself, your unique mechanism thing and stuff. Then I like tried that. Now my company is called Data Integration Systems. Now I use the like that same message within my students, and I now know that having these principles not only serves myself and my team but my clients too. So it's really amazing.
Yeah, I'm so happy you talked about branding there a second ago, because it's like one of those things that it's really hard to pinpoint the impact it can have on your business. But I think the best way to illustrate it is that all right, if you're doing well, and let's say you're spending a lot of money on ads, it's not hard to figure out that you're obviously crushing it. And so it doesn't take a genius to come in here and try to copy everything that you're doing. And a lot of people watching this, you may say, oh, I offer DM services, I educate the doctors, I help them pass the exam. That's all fine, but there's literally nothing preventing somebody else from doing the exact same thing and saying the exact same thing. And so one of the things that we work with our clients with is branding and creating a unique mechanism where it would be almost impossible for somebody else to try to copy that, because it's your own word. You made it up yourself. And that's, for us, it's self-sustaining funnel, right? The word is made up, the term's made up, but what we do for our clients and the system, that's proven after making $25 million online. So I even was checking out some of your YouTube content, your Instagram as well. So it's been cool to see you like start to blend your organic and your paid here a little bit. As I was looking in the Ring the Bell channel, which is all the wins in here, and I see you're like, 5 closes yesterday, 3 closes today. I see you start to increase the amount of units that you're selling. Before you were working with us, was the biggest bottleneck acquisition? And like, how many calls and sales were you generating on average a month back then compared to where you are now? I know you weren't tracking anything, so it might be harder to.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was kind of blind, but what I can tell you is that I was a little bit like worried about if I was able to handle this volume, because my price point is pretty low to get to my numbers because of the country I'm in. So something else that your team has helped me is to be able to scale my delivery and actually feeling confident that I can raise my ad spend, that I can serve more people. Because when you know you're selling crap things because like basically you can't handle that many clients, it's really hard to have the confidence to sell. But now that I have the proper systems in place also for client success, is like the best stage to be in. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you and I were kind of nerding out a little bit, but I told you I was really impressed by the amount of documented systems that you had. I was like, tell me your DM process, and you're like, oh, I got a document for that. I'm like, and tell me your lead magnet process, and you're like, I got a document for that. So it's been awesome to see, and I can even hear it in your voice how much more confident you are. And you and I just laid the roadmap to 6xing your business on this call. And I'm not saying that there's not going to be bottlenecks that don't come up, but it's 100 times easier when you have to hire somebody or you're talking about spending more money when you know exactly what's going on where, what the systems are set up, what the return on ad spend is, et cetera, et cetera. So huge kudos to you. People that are watching this right now, maybe they've watched a few videos of mine online, maybe they're seeing this on an ad or on the YouTube channel. They haven't worked with this yet, they haven't pulled the trigger. What would you say to them if they were talking to you?
You're missing out. That's the thing I would say. Like, even on your free content, like, really every single piece you share is really valuable, and just people just lack action in general. And of course, when you pay more attention. So that's a key component to it.
Agreed. If somebody wants to find you or talk to you a little bit more, learn a little more about what you're doing in the business you're scaling here, what's the best place they can find you at?
Yeah, they can reach out to me in Juan Otalo on Instagram, and on YouTube. Yeah.
Awesome. Juan, thank you so much for hopping on here. Thanks for being an awesome client, and for taking action and seeing the results that you have so far. And everybody else, we'll see you in the next video.